If you're with a partner who gives you the silent treatment, then stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to be telling you why this happens and what you can do about it. Just a quick one. If you're interested in relationship content, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps to motivate me to keep making helpful content. Okay, now let's get into today's video. So the first thing I want to address is what I actually mean when I talk about the silent treatment. The silent treatment is where your partner starts acting differently towards you. And it's really a noticeable shift. So they're either ignoring you completely, they may be giving you one-word answers, or refusing to really engage in a conversation with you. So they appear really cold and distant, and it's difficult to break through this kind of barrier or this wall that they've put up. And sometimes you can really easily pinpoint when this happens, right? So maybe during a difficult conversation, they might stop responding and become withdrawn. But other times it can be more subtle. So you may have noticed that their behavior changed towards you, but you can't tell exactly when it happened or what it was even in response to. I'll just give you a quick example to make this a little bit more clear. So let's say that you and your partner were talking about where you wanted to go for your next vacation. And maybe you were finding it difficult to agree on a place that you both wanted to go to. So maybe your partner really wanted to go to the beach and you wanted to go to the mountains. And at some points in that conversation, they might start to give you these short, dismissive answers like, oh, I don't care, or well, whatever you want. And then they might even become unresponsive and just kind of turn away from you. Maybe switch on the TV, something like that. And this behavior might go on for a couple hours, days, or in some cases, it can even go on for weeks at a time. And it doesn't matter what you try to do to get your partner talking again, it doesn't work. And it can be really, really frustrating. So let's talk about why your partner, or anyone for that matter, uses the silent treatment. There can be a couple of reasons for it, and I'm just going to go through 4 of them. So one reason your partner might do this is because of the relationship dynamics that they were exposed to when they were young, right? So they might have watched their parents using the silent treatment to kind of solve problems or get what they want, and so they're just replicating what they know because that's familiar to them. A second reason your partner might use the silent treatment is they might be conflict avoidant. So they might find it really difficult to talk about how they're feeling, and these strong emotions might just make them feel really uncomfortable. So they might find that it's easier to pull away or avoid engaging in a conversation that could potentially lead to a misunderstanding. Then another reason for the silent treatment is kind of what I said earlier. So your partner might find it hard to express their feelings in general. So big feelings can be really uncomfortable, and they just need time and space to process their feelings on their own before communicating with you. And then the final reason I want to talk about is situations where the silent treatment can be used as a kind of punishment or manipulation. So your partner might be trying to make you feel bad or influence your behavior in some way without really addressing the underlying issues. So no matter what the reason is, this behavior, the silent treatment, can really harm your relationship. And it's really frustrating for the person who's having to deal with it. It can lead to unresolved issues, it builds resentment, and things can get harder to repair the longer it goes on. So the burning question then is, okay, how do you respond to this? What are you supposed to do, right? And if you're like many others, you've probably tried every possible avenue to engage with your partner again. So you might have tried to initiate conversations, ask them what's wrong, given them some space, or maybe you've even given them the silent treatment back, right? Like a taste of their own medicine. And while these responses are all normal and natural, they're not really effective when it comes to breaking that barrier. What is really needed is a more thoughtful and strategic response. So let's talk about what exactly that looks like. And I want to break this down into a few steps, or let's say kind of protocol you can use when your partner starts giving you the silent treatment. So first things first, right? Don't assume that you know why your partner is being silent. So it could really be for any of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, but if you accuse them, that will just lead to defensiveness and they'll want to pull away more. So what you want to do is call out that behavior, but in a calm, gentle way. So you might say something like, hey, I notice you're not responding to me. And this then invites them to open up without putting so much pressure on them. And they may or they may not respond to this, but if they don't respond, then you can go on to tell them how the behavior makes you feel using an I statement. And an I statement is a statement where you tell someone how their behavior makes you feel from your perspective. And it works really well because you're taking ownership for your feelings and you're not directly blaming or accusing them, so they don't feel like they need to be defensive. So you might say, I feel hurt and confused when you ignore me. And then you can make a request for a specific change or action. So in this situation, you might say something like, I'd really like it if we could talk about this and find a solution together. And from there, the ball is now in their court. So if you're still getting silence or resistance after following these steps, then something else you can do is to acknowledge your partner's feelings, especially their need for space. So if your partner feels that you understand them, this can help to soften them so they feel more comfortable opening up later on. So this could look like telling them something like, I understand if you need time and space to process your feelings on your own, and I'll be here when you're ready to talk. So at the same time, you don't want to tell them that it's okay that you're going to just leave things unresolved, right? You want to make sure they understand the importance of addressing this in the future. So you could say something like, I don't want to leave any issues unresolved. I know these conversations can be really hard, but they can also help us to understand one another better and actually strengthen our relationship. And that is so important to me. So take the time you need, and I'll be here to listen without any judgment when you're ready. So what this does is it makes your partner feel really safe, and it helps to open up the conversation. So try these steps, and this is what's going to help you to break through that barrier. I know it's really frustrating, but being patient and letting your partner know that you're willing to work through things and that you're not going to judge them, that you're going to be able to handle the conversation and their emotions that they're maybe afraid of, that will really help to open things up and lead to a constructive conversation. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, again, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned. I will see you next week.